Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys a summary over the butchering process we did on one of the Jersey Angus cross steers. So, hope you guys enjoy it. So, just to give you guys some background, I had made a couple videos previously, probably earlier this summer, about the two Jersey Angus cross steers. At this point, they are about 17, 18 months old. I asked if I should try to sell them or if I should try to sell them to someone to butcher, and we ended up finding a home for one of them. One of our family friends, they wanted one to butcher, and so he ended up splitting it into halves or something. But so I did get him sold, and since we already have all the meat processing stuff, I've gotten some good deals on some equipment in the last couple of years, and so we thought we could do it ourselves. And the last time we took a steer to the butchering place, I think they charged $500 plus just to get ground burger and the normal basic steaks. So nothing fancy, and that's what they charge. So I got the equipment for less than that, and the commercial grinder I got, it does 23 pounds per minute, I believe. And so you can go through a steer pretty quick. So anyway, we decided to save some money, and this guy wanted to butcher himself. He grew up doing it when he was a kid, but he hasn't done it in quite a few years. So anyway, so he came over, we helped him out, and we got the first one killed. We used a 22. I was the one that ended up shooting it, one shot, and it dropped. So humane kill, and then of course after it was dropped, he slit his throat. So while he's knocked out, his heart is still pumping, and that just makes sure all the blood pumps out. So kind of a graphic process, but like I said, that's why I didn't show it, and that's why I'm telling you guys what happened and what went on. So this is my first time processing a steer. I butcher a lot of deer every year, but I've never done an actual cow. So this was a first for me, and my dad and the guy that bought the steer, they had both done it before when they were younger. So they kind of knew what they were doing, but they still had to work out some kinks and all that. So anyway, so we skinned it afterwards. We hooked it up to the tractor, picked it up, skinned it, and then we gutted it. I know you can find all of this stuff on other YouTube videos, but personally I didn't want to get the content strikes or creator strikes. I don't remember what they're called. That's basically when YouTube gets mad at what you posted. And from what I can tell, a lot of the stuff I was just talking about would have given me one of those strikes. So anyway, so that's what happened. And then my brother had actually built us a little walk-in cooler for deer a couple years ago, and so we used that, and we hung the beef in there, we quartered it up and hung it in there. So these Jerseys, I guess yellow fat is a characteristic of Jerseys. That's something I didn't really know about. I knew Jerseys had really yellow milk, but I guess this is the same thing. So anyway, he was covered in fat, absolutely covered, and so I think we're going to give them a little cheaper price because a lot of fat, and you can only do so much with so much fat. So yeah, but anyway, tons of fat, so he was really healthy, and he's been on pasture his whole life, and we got him out there. We didn't actually have to stress him out to kill him. So I would say it was a pretty humane process, as much as humane as you can be, I guess. And anyway, we didn't waste hardly anything. The only thing we wasted was the rumen and the small intestine, large intestine, basically all the guts that you don't really want to eat. But the heart, the liver, and let's see, even the tongue and the tail were all saved, and they will be used and eaten. So and then now on to what I'm doing here. A lot of people think saving the hide is a lot of extra work, which it is, but I just kind of have a problem, we killed the animal, might as well use as much as we can of it, and I ended up finding a tannery that will do a cowhide or a calf, depending on the size, but they said a cowhide will be anywhere from 100 to 150, so I think since this guy was only 850 some pounds, I think he will probably be, 125 to get that tanned. And I'm gonna do hair off, so they'll do all that for you, but all I have to do here is I have to take all the flesh and the fat off the skin and the hide, And so I have this little beam set up. I actually set it up a couple of years ago when I tried to do a cow a long time ago. In this process here, I'm just taking all of the fat and the meat off. And before it is shipped to the tanner, no, it is not frozen. They don't want a frozen hide sent to them because it'll end up rotting eventually. So they want it salted down. So I will end up getting some rock salt and, well, I will get some coarsely ground salt, non-iodized, and then I will spread it pretty thick on the hide. And then that will be loaded up and shipped to the tannery. So, I mean, for $100 you get a whole cowhide of leather, and leather is worth quite a bit. So whether I sell it or try to make stuff out of it, I think $150 is worth it. So one more thing that we didn't waste, and we'll try to use as much as we can from this animal. So anyway, and then after I finished fleshing that night, I did wash it out. Even though I'm not keeping the hair, I don't want a bunch of blood on there or anything. So I just hung it on this step ladder here and I washed it out. It doesn't have to be super clean, but you just don't want any blood or dirt on there. So anyway, and that's pretty much all I had time for. So in the next video, I will be posting a kind of a update. Meat is in the cooler right now, of course, like I mentioned, and it will be in there for another week or two. And so we'll just hang it, and I guess when anyone's free in the next week or week and a half, they'll all come out here and we will work it up. So anyway, I'll try to show some of that because I think YouTube allows that, but if not, I apologize. It's just part of the rules. So anyway, and I will also be salting down the hide and getting it all prepped for sending off, and I'll show that in another video as well. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy this one. I will be posting, like I said, I'll be posting an update here the next week on the butchering process and showing how we slice up the meat, cut it up and grind it and put it into bags. But that will be saved for a later date because it's not done yet. So anyway, and then in another couple weeks, we will be doing the Free-Martin heifer, which I have showed you in previous videos. We'll be butchering her, and that will just be for my own personal family, and we will have that be for us. So anyway, I'll try to show some more of that as well if I can. Anyway, calves are basically on their last. Well, they have 2 more fields that have quite a bit of pasture in them. They're in one of them right now. And I'd say they'd probably be done with that by mid-November, and then they'll be moved into that last one. So I think I may run out of pasture here early December, which I can afford to feed a little bit of hay, but I don't want to be feeding too much. So not really sure when I'm going to sell them yet, but they have gotten their last vaccines, as was showed in the last video, and hopefully they will be prepped and ready for selling here soon. I will say heifers, the price has dropped at the sales barn in the last week or last couple weeks, and so at this point it's looking like I'm going to be keeping heifers because I can't afford to sell them for what they're bringing. So even if I don't keep them all as cows, I will have them all bred, and I might sell some bred heifers to whoever would want them later. So anyway, that's just kind of what's going on here. I know this wasn't a normal calf video, but we had a pretty busy week doing all this. I had some other things going on with school and stuff. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys next time.